Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back with another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today taking a look at a figure that I was definitely eagerly anticipating. We finally got a new update to Clone Commander Cody. This is a Walmart exclusive. It is, I guess, part of like Revenge of the Sith anniversary. And it's like those Clone Wars figures we got, she's almost 4 years ago now, I think. They were Target exclusive and then exclusive to Toys R Us in Canada. They were on the they were like recreations of the Clone Wars 3 3/4 inch packaging card backs, and this time around we have a Black Series 6 inch sized recreation of the Revenge of the Sith 3 3/4 inch figure lines packaging, which I think is really cool. I was real young when Revenge of the Sith came out, probably around 8 years old or so. But I do remember this toy line. I had a handful of figures from the line. I remember seeing them in stores, having the little pamphlets that showed you all the figures you could get. And I still remember this packaging really fondly. So this was a figure I had to get a couple of. I rarely get multiples of Black Series figures to keep on card, but this is one I had to have to keep on the packaging. But yeah, I'll take a closer look at the figure and the packaging first. I don't know if they're doing any more of these figures on this card back. I would assume so, but I don't think they've announced any yet. Oh, maybe they have. I feel like there's a Kit Fisto coming on this card back, and there might be some other figures. I can't remember. But it looks very nice. It's a pretty, I would say, faithful recreation of that packaging with the Darth Vader helmet shape in the back with the flames on the bottom, and you've got Anakin and Obi-Wan there on the top there, dueling. You got the figure, an image of the character, Clone Commander Cody, Revenge of the Sith, legalese on the bottom, picture of the figure, and just celebrate the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith with figures from the Black Series, featuring commemorative packaging. So yeah, pretty cool. The Kit Fisto, I don't know if I'm going to get it. It depends how different it is from the Attack of the Clones one they did. If it's not very different, I probably won't get that one. And then I can't remember what other figures were going to be on this packaging, so we'll see. But I really do like this packaging a lot. It looks really good. But let's take a look at the actual figure, which I have right here, which is my second copy that I got to have loose. This figure is pretty easy to pre-order. It was up for a long time. Walmart's definitely gotten better with their pre-orders. A lot of the stuff that ends up being Walmart exclusive, I've been able to get no problem. But yeah, this is Commander Cody. He's on the newer 3.0 body, which is really nice. This character desperately needed an update. The old Commander Cody might be the worst clone trooper figure they've ever made. I don't know. It's definitely up there with being one of the worst ones. It's just, for the time, it was okay, I guess, but it just aged so badly. And this one is much improved in a lot of ways. But as you saw in the packaging and here, he does have a fully painted, unhelmeted head sculpt of the Timira sculpt we've seen for pretty much all of the clones. I actually think this is a straight up reuse of the standard clone trooper with the removable helmet we've gotten a couple times now, which is fine for the most part. The only thing is that Cody is supposed to have a scar around his eye on the side here, and he doesn't have that because they didn't give him a unique sculpt. It's a decently subtle scar, to be completely honest. I'll do a comparison with like the Hot Toys figure just to show you. But I mean, even me looking at the Hot Toys figure from a distance, it's hard to tell without looking closely. But still, I feel like they should have gave Cody his own head sculpt. I think he's deserving of that. So it's a little unfortunate they just reused. The face print is clean. It does have a bit of that glossiness that happens with face printing. Maybe I'll hit it with a clear coat. I don't know if I care that much because I'm probably going to display him with his helmet on. But still cool that he has the removable helmet feature at all. Then the rest of the figure, the torso is new. He's got his rank badge thingy there. The orange markings, I think look pretty good. And he does have printed weathering. Now on the original figure, it was sculpted damage, but had no paint or printing on it. This is no sculpting, but printed. So the battle damage and wear and tear kind of stands out a little better on this figure, but it doesn't have that nice sculpt detail. Also, one thing worth mentioning too is the weathering is only on the torso and the shoulders, and then it is nowhere else on the figure. I really don't like it when Hasbro does this. Either full commit to weathering or don't. I think Cody Definitely should have had the full weathering with the scorch marks all over the armor. Again, I'll kind of compare with the Hot Toys, and while obviously I don't expect Hot Toys level um, weathering, you know, he should have had at least a bit of it all throughout. Like the back's completely clean, that sort of thing. So that's a little unfortunate. But he's got the gray on the midsection there, some more of the orange. He actually does have a peg hole. I never really noticed this till right now. He actually does have a peg hole to store Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. So I'll test that out. He doesn't come with it though. You do have the gray on the arms, or his little connection thing here, a little bit of unique piece right there. The jetpack, it's not removable. Mine actually looks like it was slightly glued off kilter a little bit. Not a big deal, but that is there, which is cool. The belt looks nice with some nice painted apps there. A little bit more orange on the legs and the knees with the gray at the bottom of the feet there. It looks good, but it's definitely not perfect either. There are definitely things that could have been better. But yeah, I do really like how this guy looks, especially proportionally. It's just so much better looking than the old figure. In terms of articulation, if you own any of the newer molds, you know what to expect, but you do have a ball joint at the head as well as the base of the neck. It looks down a bit, not up a whole lot. A bit of pivot and rotation. Do have hinges at the shoulders and rotation. The shoulder pads are on that newer O-ring sort of connection, so they will rotate with the arms, but the arms go out pretty far. They are softer plastic, so they'll get out of the way, but you can rotate them. He does have butterfly joints, and you can actually get a pretty good range of movement out of those butterfly joints for a Black Series figure, so that's cool. Swivel at the bicep. A single hinge at the elbow that moves pretty far in. Swivels at the wrist. The right wrist has an up and down hinge. The left wrist is in and out. Torso joint arches back just a bit. Crunches forward a little bit. A little bit of pivot and then rotation. Hip joints, you can kick them out pretty far. Don't really go back. They split pretty far though. And then you have a swivel cut that's nicely hidden by the armor. Single hinge at the knee that goes past 90. Then hinges at the ankles that go up. They go down, and then the rocker for pivot. So pretty good articulation. All their joints feel pretty smooth and aren't too loose, but also aren't too tight. So he is pretty fun to just pose and mess around with, which is nice. In terms of accessories, you do get his helmet, of course. This is a new piece. It looks pretty good. I think the paint is pretty clean on it. The sculpt's nice. I think it looks, the appropriate size. It goes on nice and securely, and it does cover pretty much his full head, which is good. You don't really see any of his face poking out. The only thing I'll say is, I guess, if you really do push it as far as it'll go, you do lose a lot of his neck, where he does look a little like he doesn't have much of a neck. But he is wearing like a pretty large helmet. Like in real life, it would cover some of the neck. It doesn't bother me too much, but I guess something worth mentioning. But it looks good, though, I think. It does come with a blaster, just the DC-15 carbine we've seen umpteen times before. But you can hold that. So that's good. And then lastly, the coolest accessory is he does come with the little holo communicator with the little hologram of Darth Sidious contacting him for Order 66, which is a really nice inclusion. Looks really good. The only problem I have with it is a bit of a pain to get him to hold it properly. You really got to stretch the hands out to get him to hold it. Once you do stretch the hand, he holds it pretty securely. But I hate that you have to stretch the hand out to do that. If you're going to leave it in his hand for any length of time, it's really going to warp the hands out. I do wish they would have included an alternate hand that was meant specifically for holding this. That would have been really nice, but, alternate hands, not super common with Black Series figures, so I can't say I'm overly surprised with the blaster back in his hand. Yeah, though, I think aside from not having an interchangeable hand, accessory's pretty good. Like I said, it doesn't come with the Obi-Wan's hilt, but I'm okay with that. That's not really that big of a deal. If you really want to pose him with that, you probably already have an Obi-Wan anyways. But moving on to comparisons, I guess the main one is comparing it with the old Commander Cody. So here's the old Commander Cody, and, it's pretty night and day. The old one does have some details that this one doesn't have. Like, for some reason, on the helmet, that little flashlight or whatever that's supposed to be is painted on this one, but it's not painted on this one for whatever reason. But I think the helmet's a much better size than the new one. The old one, it was really small and it sat up on the neck too high. I always thought the shoulder pads looked kind of weird on the old one. They look a lot better on the new one. The old one does have a darker orange, and then they've opted for a lighter orange on the new Commander Cody. Honestly, I do like the dark orange a little better from the old one. I think it looks a little more accurate, to be honest, but a lot of the 212th figures they've made in the past have been a lighter orange, so I imagine they made them lighter to maybe match up more with his battalion troopers. So that's okay. I do like consistency. But yeah, you know, there's some places where there's a little bit more paint on the old one, I suppose. But this old one has really bad articulation. As you can see, this is just from him standing on the shelf. The joint plastic is so gummy and bad. His leg just warps so badly, and I've never been able to get them to warp back in. The proportions are weird, especially around the hips. That looks super odd. The shoulders, now looking at it, like aren't bulky enough, and his torso isn't broad enough. Where the new one definitely gets that. So, you know, the old one was better than having no 6-inch Cody, I guess. But yeah, the new one, I think for the most part is way, way, way better. And you can kind of see there the figure on the torso having the sculpted weathering over the printing. This one looks like there's painted detail on it, but I actually customized this one ever so slightly, give him a little more weathering. But yeah, that's them together. Definitely happy to finally be retiring this figure. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it. Probably maybe see if I can sell it, but like it's not even worth anything. It's so bad. Continuing on, here he is with a 212 clone released like a few years ago now, I think, which is based on the Clone Wars. This is on the 2.0 body, but they work pretty good together. Even though they opted for a lighter shade of orange with this Cody, this colors of orange still don't actually match. But they look cool still. I like how they look. Definitely matches better than with the old one. So that's nice. Here he is with another 3.0 clone. This is just the normal phase 1. And if I actually pop the head off, or not head off, helmet off rather, you can see, do believe that's the exact same sculpt. Obviously a little bit different detailing, but then here he is with Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Clone Wars one. I think they look pretty good together. Although I don't know if Obi-Wan ever had this look when Commander Cody was in his Phase 2 armor. But I'll take Obi-Wan's lightsaber and just see if you can put the hilt on his belt like I think you can. Ooh, interesting. So you can put the lightsaber on Cody's belt, but it's really loose. Like that barely stays on. Like if you wanted to display him like that on the shelf, you could, but it's literally just sitting in there. So I don't know. I'm wondering if it's supposed to be compatible with a newer Obi-Wan, because I'm pretty sure it was leaked we're getting a new Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan, or maybe it was even pipelined. I can't remember all the pipeline reveals anymore. But I'm pretty sure we are getting a new Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan, so maybe his lightsaber hilt will be compatible with Cody's belt. But I'm actually kind of surprised that this holder hilt doesn't actually work. Or, I mean, it does technically, but it's really loose. And then, for fun, I will bring in the Hot Toys Clone Commander Cody. You can definitely see the difference in orange. The Hot Toys one has a much darker orange. I do like that more, I will be honest. But, you know, it's not a huge deal. But you can kind of see, I get up in there. Get the light here. It's really hard to tell, but you can see on the, right by the eye there's that little scar. And even his hairstyle is ever so slightly different. He has around his ears shaved down shorter. So, you know, would have been nice for this Cody to look a little more like the actual, how it's supposed to look. But, yeah, you know, what can you do? Not the biggest deal for me. Like I said, I'm going to be displaying Cody with his helmet more than likely on, but still worth mentioning because, you know, some people might want to display him with his helmet off. and that might bother you that it's not super accurate. But yeah, overall, I think this still is a really great figure. It's a really good upgrade to that we've needed for a long time now for that old Cody. So if you are a fan of Clone Troopers and you are a Clone Commander Cody fan, then I definitely highly recommend picking this up. I do think he's worth the at least original retail price. I don't know what he's going to be like on the aftermarket. Like I said, for Walmart, at least in Canada, it was easy to pre-order them, so I feel like it won't be too bad to get them. And yeah, like I said, definite recommend from me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.